I want to start a talk on how to prevent Alzheimer as well as the recent COVID developments. Now, it's a fact that it is now seen that some COVID sequelae, one aspect of long-term COVID effect could be neurodegenerative diseases. That has been now identified as a possibility. So we need to take care that people are followed up properly after long COVID. So that while that is a possibility, Alzheimer was always a problem that could have been avoided if people were told what to do. So here I will start with Alzheimer and get on to some long COVID consequences, how you can prevent them. Firstly, Alzheimer is avoided when you keep your brain pliant or plastic. That is, always get the brain to make new neuronal circuits. And in deep sleep, it is still thought at any age, complete deep thought, undisturbed, non-interfered deep thought, and empathic executive thinking, creative work can regenerate neuronal circuits that are degenerating. So you must keep time for that. So to avoid regurgitation of painful memories, so you have to somehow see to it that you don't go thinking the same thing, same bad things about people, and keep thinking this one treated me bad, that one treated me bad. That would be a very foolish thing to do, because that will affect your brain pliability. Always think forward. Brain plasticity is a feature that refers to how much we can think forward. That's the executive empathic pathway with the prefrontal cortex. So what you should do is always, every hour, live by a default mode network of thought. Initiate from prefrontal cortex, initiate, navigate, successful end conclusion, complete it, and then successful end conclusion, and you yourself are able to say that are good, well done, give yourself a clap. That's so dopamine serotonin cycle keeps changing, and you every hour you get on to something new and planned. You don't allow it to be you don't allow time to just hang on you. That is important. Live by your hour-to-hour default mode network. Fourthly, plan a timetable for every hour. Now, I'm Dr. Mendis. My last substantive post was as head of Department of Pharmacology in a state medical faculty. That's why I speak a lot on pharmacology. So if you want any of these notes that I'm referring to, please send me a WhatsApp note to my this WhatsApp number dedicated for these programs, which is +94 76 313 4800. Please do not call, nobody will answer. Send a WhatsApp message. Also, you can download my app, which is Golden Nuggets, from Google or App Store. I am Dr. Lalith Mendis. So, fourthly, plan a timetable for every hour and write it down in the morning. It doesn't have to be a strict timetable, but at 7 o'clock in the morning, you're writing down 7. So you have to write it down. More you write down, less likely you will get Alzheimer. Don't give up your habit of writing down. I'll come to that. So that you say 7 a.m. breakfast, 8 a.m. read this book, 9 a.m. like that. Even if you are doing the same thing every day, write it down as if you are planning a new, which is good for your brain, the new plan of wanting to do something. That helps your brain plasticity, neuronal connections. Then fifthly, minimize screen and LED. Please don't become a couch potato in front of a screen. That promotes Alzheimer. Your screen time is directly related to how soon you can get Alzheimer. So please minimize your screen and LED light. Less screen, the better it is, and reduce the LED lights also. Reduce the amount you use at home, because the blue light frequency works against memory, and works against sleep, and works against melatonin, which is very important even for the brain Weaver program that the Good Shepherd has installed in your brain. Melatonin is very important. Sixthly, carefully keep your sleep-awake cycle and melatonin effect, and avoid sleeping tablets as much as possible. So get up with sunrise and go to and observe sundown as much as possible. Take outside walk. If you are in apartments, open the curtains and watch the sundown, which triggers the night cycle, and sunrise gets the bioclocks for the morning cycle. This is important healthy living, because tied up to that sunrise and awake and sleep cycle, your insulin growth hormone, adrenocortical axis, all that work, and that is rest your metabolic system. But of course this part is about the Alzheimer and keeping your brain ticking well. Carefully keep your sleep awake cycle. Don't resort to sleeping tablets. It does not give natural sleep, because your natural sleep involves REM sleep and NREM sleep, where you see dreams and don't see dreams. First part of dreams are not nice dreams, but dreams improve, and you must wake up on a good dream. If you are waking up on bad dreams, bad memories, that's not a good sign of mental or neuronal health. Then seventh one is very important. Write 4 A4 pages in 2 languages as much as possible, and keep a diary going. Write whatever, meditations, reflections, Bible passages, hymns you like, what happened during the day, memories. Write your biography, for instance. You may not publish it, but that exercise of your brain being active, recalling and writing, is very important for brain health. Recalling and writing is very important for brain health. Please remember that. Then that's the 7th one. That's a very important one. Continue writing in 2 languages, though you don't have to essentially write. Keep the writing habit going. It's a very good habit to keep your brain plastic. Then 8th one, sing and recall old hymns. Whether you sing tunefully or not, it doesn't matter. So this recalling old tunes and singing by recall, it's good. It's okay. You can look at a hymn book or you can look at a song book and sing, but this recall and singing to some tune is a very good brain healthy habit that prevents Alzheimer. And what you can do is also recall. You can make up tunes also. Music acts like a language, so recalling and singing musically is a very good brain plastic exercise that keeps your neuronal circuit renewed. Of course, if you play a piano or stringed instruments, even better. That's an excellent thing to do. Even keep the beat with a tambourine. Your wife will be very pleased also. Is also a very good brain habit. Now remember this, you are not doing this for the Rupavahini or whatever. You are just doing this for your brain health, so don't feel shy. This is your home. Keep doing these things. Then 9thly, I must tell you, keep up grudges. Don't keep any grudges, because grudges take you bottom down into amygdalization, into the amygdala, hippocampus, hypothalamus. That is the all recurrent bottom up regulation. Don't keep grudges, because it will not promote good brain circuits. It will not promote good neuronal circuits. It will keep doing the same. Bad thing will come up again and again, which is not good for your spiritual health. Certainly it is not good for your brain health also. I have told you before, man is basically spirit, then he has his conscience, then he has his heart affections, they should be in balance, then he has his emotions and imagination, then he has the cognition in the big brain. So the spirit, the conscience, the heart, emotions, imaginations are getting conveyed in the cognition. So man is not only brain. You have to realize that man is a spiritual creature, and he is created like that, designed like that. So it is important. Now there are these out of my research I did this, but there are other things that other people have mentioned. Doing exercise is good to keep your brain health. Then of course Lego, card games, board games, any kind of game. And I suggest particularly hanging the cricket ball from the bar or whatever, like a door frame, and then tick tock tick, hearing the sound, and then being barefooted on a lanupadura, coir woven, that the lanupadura, feeling that coir woven carpet kind of thing. You know what a lanupadura is, when you're walking up and down and this keeping the rhythm, expecting and taking aim. This is very good to keep your brain going. So if 15 minutes you can do this tick tock. Other thing to do is, now it must be the 10th point, other thing to do is, if you can have a sand track in your garden, that is, get someone to dig a 1 foot, maybe 2 feet wide or 1.5 feet wide, and a half a foot deep trench, and you put sand in it, sea sand. It can, the length depends on the expanse of your house, sea sand on it, and moving on the sea sand. Even if you are not stable, then you can get someone to put up to handrails kind of thing, steady one, so that you don't fall. And to walk on sand, which is a geometric particle, is also good for brain recording and that friction kind of exercise. You'll recall that these are the things we did for early motor therapy of little fellows. Similarly, I recommend this for digitized kids to go through this. Similarly, when you are advancing in age and to keep your brain circuits tuned, or real thing is that they keep making neuronal circuits for proprioception is the word. It's all very good. Then of course I will put up some pictures of our empathic learning center, empathic motor therapy, things that can be done at your age, of grips and ropes. I have called it GATS, grips and ropes thrill sports. I call it, that's for young fellows. But for you at your age, whatever of that is possible, also keeps all your joints moving and brain recording is very good. So any exercise is good, but these exercises that we have designed in 15 minutes get all your joints sort of moving and the brain recording it. So all carom games, board games, card games, Lego, and activity with your grandchildren. Any amount of activity with your grandchildren will keep you nimble in your brain as well as nimble in your body. So this is some things about the preventing Alzheimer. Then I wanted to take up alcohol. Friend or fiend, that's the term I used. Alcohol, why is it such an enemy of mankind? You see, the alcohol molecule, when you take it, every teaspoon of alcohol, now I need to tell you this, no pregnant lady should be taking any alcohol, because every sip of alcohol affects the baby's brain in the womb, and that is one major reason of so many ADHD children getting born, because the brain tracks get accelerated in the wrong place. So it's a recommendation of the Royal College of Obstetricians since about 4 years ago that this is how they mentioned it. No amount of alcohol can be said to be safe for the pregnant mother. That's a politically correct statement. What they should have said is, mother, don't take any alcohol when you are pregnant. For that matter, we can say, mother, don't take any alcohol at any time, and we should be saying, oh father, please don't take any alcohol at any time. But certainly for the pregnant mother, no alcohol at all, not even a sip. That's a recommendation of the Royal College of Obstetricians. It definitely has neurological effects on the child's brain. Please, you have to know this. So this what alcohol C2H5OH does is it obstructs or inhibits the GABA neurochemical transmitter. GABA is gamma aminobutyric acid. That's the transmitter. GABA is the one, when you are falling asleep, it brings you that sort of empathic feeling. What did I do wrong? I should be saying sorry to my wife. And you, like a baby, goes off to sleep. We say he's a baby when he's sleeping or he's falling asleep. That's GABA. So when every bit of alcohol obstructs GABA, and GABA molecule is the one who goes through all the brain tracts, doing some wonderful coordination for brain neuroplasticity. The GABA molecule connects different parts of the brain, different functions of the brain like no other. So this disturbing GABA by drinking alcohol at any time is a very foolish thing to do. So many people who are on retirement because they have nothing else to do, they think alcohol is the thing to do. Please don't do this. It's a sure way of accelerating Alzheimer. Please don't do this. Yes. When Alzheimer gets worse and worse, you remember less and less of your recent life. Today I heard of a gentleman, he only remembers his childhood, and anywhere he goes, he thinks he's in the city in which he was born. So anything he sees, he refers to the city in which he was born and says, that car park is there, and tries to refer it to his childhood experiences. So the person disappears before your eyes when they get Alzheimer. So do your utmost to prevent Alzheimer. Take care of your brain, please. So that is about Alzheimer. Now I want to get on to the post-acute sequelae of COVID. What are the things I like to discuss with you? Stress and anxiety are major issues in the post-acute sequelae of COVID. So see to it that you are well rested and that you will do your best to not get excited, because that stress drives up adrenal cortical axis, and that tends to interfere with immune processes, metabolic rate and so on, because post-COVID many people have an accelerated metabolic rate for different reasons of COVID phenomena. I am hoping to do a document on, and if doctors are listening, you can send me a WhatsApp number to my WhatsApp number. Don't call, +94, that's Sri Lanka, 76 313 4800, and send me what you want, which kind of document you are asking for. So the one I'm hoping to do is from acute COVID, how does it proceed to long COVID. Also my app has nearly 200 and now about 260. I think my talk is about 261 today. No, this is about 265 today. My app Golden Nuggets has all the clips, spiritual as well as scientific. So you can download it free, Golden Nuggets. I'm Dr. Lalith Mendis. Download it free from Apple Store or Google. So there are antibodies to the spike protein has been found to also interact with brain monoamine oxidase enzyme. So brain monoamine oxidase enzyme is involved in metabolism, resynthesis and degradation of many brain molecules, neurochemical transmitters. So many neurochemical transmitters go wrong in their adjustments if brain gets involved with long COVID. Can I do anything to prevent it? One thing you can do is to treat early, and this social media do not allow me to tell you the molecules which can be given for early treatment. So you can read some of my notes, and you can go to my blog, Dr. Lalith Mendis, wordpress.com, Dr. Lalith Mendis blog. Simple. It has some of those articles that I have written. Also, I can post you the article I wrote for College of General Practitioners newsletter. You can ask for the newsletter, doc. Those have more medical details that you can benefit from. So those early molecules that obstruct the COVID process, immunologically modulate the COVID process, will be helpful. Also, it is known that in the brain, this spike protein is a diabolical thing. It gets onto the surface of a cell and it makes cells to coalesce. It's called syncytial processes are activated, and one cell adheres to another cell, and this enhances the transfer of the spike protein from one cell to the other without meeting the immune system. That's why you have to get at it early before it enters the cell. That's what early home therapy can do. That's the drug that should be given to stop the virus or the spike protein entering the cell. So you have to treat early with the first symptom that is available in Sri Lanka now. Many general practitioners are prescribing, and my article in the College of General Practitioners newsletter gives all the details, so you can ask for it. I can send it to you. To stop that accelerated stress feeling, take food on time, take milk and egg adequately, and then fusor genes are this thing I was talking about, how cells come together, that neuron and glial cells that can affect your brain health. So that there has to be a watch on it. Very quickly, keep a watch on your pressure. Some people have developed transient high blood pressure, so that has to be watched. 2, some people have developed thyroid symptoms because the antibodies against the spike protein affects many other organs. So there can be transient hyperthyroidism, tachycardia, and so on. Watch for that, it will pass off. So even for control of long COVID, those immune modulating drugs that can be given early in the disease can be given again, because the antibodies involved in the acute process can be involved in the post-COVID phenomena. Not can be, have been involved in the post-COVID phenomena. Then antibodies against the ACE2 receptor causes increase of angiotensinogen, and some people develop hypertension because of that. Then the antibodies can act to make hypopituitarism, so you have to take care of that. And it is known that the lung symptoms, if the lung endotheliopathy, which is the pathology, what happens in the capillaries of the lung, and the epitheliopathy, that is what is happening in the epithelium of the alveoli, can continue. So don't expose yourself to dust, and don't try to come home and clean up everything in double quick time. Just hang on a little more, be patient. You can't catch up on everything all of a sudden. Other thing is, don't get involved with dust. Avoid dusting and things like that. And avoid continually spraying, because that spray can affect your lung. Always wear the mask when you are doing some cleaning up, but avoid the spray and just use the liquid. If you have to sanitize, don't use the spray too much, because that inhalation is not good for your lung. Then it is known that those people who are having lung damage also could have had vitamin K deficiency. So physicians must note to give vitamin K supplements acute stage also, because if there's a shortage of vitamin K, you get into more lung damage. And when you come home also, check with your physician about vitamin K supplements. Of course, green herbs, you can take any amount. That is one way to ensure. Then keep taking your vitamin D and zinc. It is still good. Vitamin C. Then I'm advising, before giving vaccines, to give vitamin D 60,000 oral dose and balance it, so that if there is a vitamin D deficiency and interleukin 6 begins to act more, you can avoid vaccine clots. And some physicians have started putting people on low dose aspirin. So remember, vitamin D, vitamin K, low dose aspirin as a solution to avoid vaccine clots. So I have written about this. So any of these topics that you want to note on, please send me a WhatsApp to +94 76 313 4800. Then lipid metabolism is affected by the acute COVID, and it can continue into long COVID. It is good to take omega-3 fish oil supplements. Research has shown that linoleic acid particularly is useful. So every day a fish oil capsule is a useful thing. Increase some of the lipid content of your diet, such as eggs is very good. So remember that. Then BP, blood pressure fluctuations you have to watch. Then also sugar fluctuations. Some people get diabetes out of control as part of the long COVID phenomenon. So keep watch over that. Then, as I told you, some physicians continue low dose aspirin to prevent any thrombus formation, because you would have heard some famous personalities died after recovering from COVID because thrombus formed in the lung or somewhere else. So you have to take care of that. Then for long COVID symptoms, that immune modulating drug is still very good. And then nutraceuticals is a new area of that is Western universities are looking at phytochemicals. The herbals we have long used in Sri Lanka, they have substances that are that meaningfully engages the COVID process, the pathogenesis in the acute stage and in the long process. So garlic curry, mustard cream on toast, then your usual kotamali, coriander, then the rasam, the tambung hodda with Nigella sativum, which is kaluduru, black cumin, suduru, then cloves. All those usual spices have been seen to be effective in tackling some of the acute and long COVID processes in the lung or gut or any other organ. Then Ceylon cinnamon aldehyde, research was done in Netherlands Medical Faculty Institute on Ceylon cinnamon aldehyde, which is cinnamon tea, which helps in the lung resolution. So these are some of the things that are nutraceuticals that are useful. So you don't have to take everything every day, but a bowl of fruit with pineapple providing you bromelain and pear providing you quercetin. Then of course drinking tea as much as possible, of course without sugar. Quercetin in the tea is also helpful. So this is a quick summary of what you can help yourself about symptoms that may come up. Anything more for nutraceuticals, that's about all. The dal protein has been found to be helpful as well. So eating a lot of dal is also seemingly a helpful thing. Now I want to get on to this side of my talk, the COVID shrinkage. The COVID process has made people very selfish. How did this happen? What are the things that are happening? Already the family process was in trouble because people are not thinking of keeping their marriage long. Also, they thought marriage is experimental. Some people postponed marriage, and they were not faithful to their marriage, and the family structures were broken down, with young fellows thinking soon after O-level, going for foreign education. Some went after A-level. So our advice has been, do your first degree in Sri Lanka. Certainly you can go for a qualification, but get back home, because if you disrupt family structures, you play into the hands of global actors. So what are the global actors getting into? They want to disrupt family health. They want to disrupt your health and make health laws applicable globally. So now they are saying the pandemic this one may be over by January. Then everyone is on their toes, quite tensed up, wondering what is next, because there are such things that are being said, that the next one may kill even more. Why are they saying this? And now it is known that the structure of the spike protein was patented. Dr. Martin, who is a authority on patenting, is showing the track from 2014 how US CDC transferred the research to Wuhan with a grant of $7 million US dollars. So that's how that the virus was made in a lab is certainly now beyond doubt. Prof. Luc Montagnier said this many times before, but it is now proven. So when the global planners, what are they getting at? They want to disrupt the family, because the individual, a young fellow without the family, by promoting Black Lives Matter or whatever it is, cutting off the roots, family roots, nation roots, any other language roots, cutting those will help global planners to take over nations. So when migrant populations are in migration in other countries, they have lost their roots, they become a vulnerable people for any kind of manipulation. Then the digital screen was intentionally promoted to see that young people are completely become zombies, so parents have no input into them. So the online process is not just happenstance, it is intended. So everybody has to get getting together, get the family back, because the Good Shepherd started the world with a family, and every promise and provision is given to the family. The Good Shepherd runs the world for the sake of families. He doesn't run the world for the sake of business or for the sake of medical greatness or politics or whatever. All those are necessary. But the basic thing is that family is what the Good Shepherd designed, and family must produce another family. One generation must produce another generation. It is called be fruitful, multiply, fill and fulfill. Be fruitful, multiply, fill and fulfill your portion, and then steward the space and opportunity for others. That's leadership. So my last two clips, I have done this extensively. Today I really want to focus your mindset on when the global dealers invade the family, they are invading nations. You have aliens in your home who don't think like you. Values are different. That's what the digital screen does. These days there have been kids committing suicide because of the digital screen excess. So this is where it is going. You can't be ignorant. Then the abortion phenomenon. Now Sri Lanka is under pressure that we must legalize abortion. We still have an old law, a British law that says abortion is murder. When I was on the SLM Ethics Committee, this issue came up, and my colleagues in 1995, I am Dr. Lalith Mendis, my colleagues asked me to draft a protocol, and we sent it to all the doctors. Of about 5,000 members of the SLMA at that time, out of those who returned, over 80% said no abortion. So the law held that we still have it that abortion is illegal. Then the LGBTQ rights, and then the transgenderism, which is completely unscientific, and child abuse. I'm just listing the things that have assailed the family. You assail the family, you assail the nation. Then having personally invaded the personal space, it is easy to invade the national space or the public space. That's how the world has been going for the past 2-3 decades. Then I have told you this before. In 1950, the world had a wonderful chance to regrow after the Second World War in spite of the nuclear disaster. So in fact, South Korea did great, and any nation could have. But from 1970, the global planners got into their hands all the world's resources to accelerate an extravaganza of consumerism. And then the money was taken out of food, housing, education and health, and was used for armament, motor industry, fashion, IT, confectionaries, toys, cosmetics, the big pharma. That's how the world went with production. And over the last year, the world has made 15 more billionaires. You know, normally to make a billionaire, it takes a lifetime. But in 1 year, they have done it, which means world's wealth is now terribly concentrated in the hands of a few. In 1960, 60% of the GDP was divided between about 40% of world's population, which was a reasonably equitable distribution of GDP. But now in 2020, 99% of the world's wealth is handled by 1% of global elite who think population is a problem, that ordinary human beings are too many for the health of the planet. They are not thinking of the health of the person, they are thinking of the health of the globe. So that's how these innovations are coming to invade the family and take your personal freedoms away. You need to know this, why COVID came and how COVID will be managed. You cannot escape that. So the Good Shepherd's promise to you is, he has a green pasture for you and your family. He says you will not want. He will take you to the next step and the next stretch, which is generally the father's arena of expertise. I recently did one on motherhood. Please take that clip and have a look. Whatever clip you need, if you send us a WhatsApp to 0763134800, we will send you the clip. This is the Good Shepherd also promised a place of restoration. What has gone wrong? We don't right wrongs, WRITE, wrongs. I told you one reason for Alzheimer acceleration is grudges. Get it right. Get it right for others. We right wrong. R-I-G-H-T, wrongs. That's the way he offers. And he says he will appoint paths of righteousness, which means no crooked ways, but straight ways to keep the family faithful to one another and faithful to raise the next generation. That's the whole thing. If humanity is not interested in raising the next generation, why is the world being? Why should the world continue if present generation, fathers and mothers, are not raising the next generation, sons and daughters? That's the whole purpose of life. It is centered on the family. For that reason, livelihoods, professions, and those who have professional expertise is meant to be benefactors to the larger population who are to be beneficiaries. That's the world the Good Shepherd designed. He will not have any other world. Yes, that is the world he designed. That's the world we have enjoyed for most of our life. So family is central. So this thing about, then he says, when the valley of death comes, he provides a way to keep you safe, and he appoints a table. That is your life experience. That's your life portion. That table may provide for your family only. That's fine. Your job provides for your family. Or else you might have a table that provides livelihood for 10 families. So what is that table? Your skill ability, your money and entrepreneurial ability, your management ability, and your skill, technocratic ability. 3 things. That is the table God provides, the Good Shepherd provides for any family. So some may have a table that can provide for their family only. That's fine. And when you have a limited income, you still, out of your salary, you will get some homework done by electrician, plumber, welder, carpenter. Then you are upkeeping that person's family also, even with your limited income. But others may have a table, that's the expression I use, which will provide for 100 people job opportunities. So even when you have personal wealth, 50% for your safe investment, 50% for a risky investment like livelihoods, launch a work field. For this you will need entrepreneur, you will need technocratic skill, you will need others, then you need management skill. 3 parts of a triangle that needs to work. So that's a little bit of general talk about how did COVID come, what do global planners insist from COVID, how do nations escape what global planners are hoping for, because Good Shepherd's idea is every nation is sovereign, head of state of every nation is only an elder brother, he's not a king, and families look after families, families provide for the next generation's family, and we are supposed to be a family of nations, not a place where global dinosaurs are in a Jurassic Park. No way. God meant nations to be families, and in the nation a near equitable as possible a distribution. That's how the Good Shepherd, God the Father, would like to have it. That's his intention for family of nations globally, and in the nation, how the nation should be prospering, fruitful, multiply, fill and fulfill, and then steward the space for others and for the next generation. This is how the Good Shepherd will do things, and that's how he has put into us, that each of us is a benefactor of what we have, so that we serve others, the beneficiaries, the patient, doctor to the patient, the lawyer to the client, and so on and so forth. This is a good design. We need to uphold it. If we have him in us, instructing us, we will do it in a way all thrive together. If we don't have it, we will do it in a way only the fittest survive. And COVID has made the isolated and very ruthless, fit people thinking weak people must be eliminated. That's the global thinking, but that is not family thinking. So in a nation, we have to care for the nation as family, all working together. This is the bigger picture behind the COVID issues. So thank you for listening. We will meet again at next Saturday 3 p.m. in the English language, tomorrow Sunday 3 p.m. in the Sinhala language. I'll send you a Zoom, and please share it with friends and colleagues. Thank you for listening.